Hi, this is Jason. Welcome to Negatives and Positives. In today's episode, we'll be talking about Eric Bischoff. I've been watching the but the docu-series on Vice called Who Killed WCW. It's a matter of who killed WCW as much as there's like 1,000 paper cuts enough to kill the company. So I can't blame it all on one person who killed WCW as much as there are many factors why WCW has been killed. I think part of them has a part of killing WCW, so it's more of a group effort than a single effort. One of those group efforts I have to say is even though he made the company profitable, not only that, but soon after he made the company profitable, he actually took over WWF from 96, 97, and early part of 98, especially in terms of the Monday Night War ratings. And his name is Eric Bischoff. Eric Bischoff is the type of guy he's a great salesman, great pitch guy, very charismatic. He's obviously TV ready because he has the handsome looks. Like he's got the tan. It kind of looks like a better looking version of Roger Lodge from Blind Dates. If you know that reference, just let me know in the comments because I know who Roger Lodge is. I know that show. You have to grow up in the 90s to know that. So anyway, speaking of the 90s, during the Monday Night Wars, Eric Bischoff is one of the guys that actually stood up to McMahon, or at least stood up to the WWF. Not only that, but punched it in the mouth for a while. As a matter of fact, you can say 83 straight weeks of the war. And the thing about it was, though, is he was the guy that innovated television. Well, not say television, but he invented the way we look at wrestling. Because before that, WWF still was into that whole cartoonish, kiddie landscape, which they were probably stuck in since 1985 up to that point. And when you have 96 comes around, you have a group called the NWO. I think the angle that really put WCW, not only that, but pro wrestling back to its relevancy in the mainstream. Eric was one of the guys that did it. He finally came with the idea of the NWO angle, and he came up with to me, one of the biggest storylines, best storylines in pro wrestling history. And then again, that same storyline, however, was overdone. Let's just put it that way. It got too big. It's so big you had to have three groups of NWO: the Black and White, the Wolf Pack, and the LWO. It's like the old saying, too much of a good thing can be a bad thing, especially when you have the NWO being really was pretty much all that WCW had, along with the cruiserweights, and getting too much spotlight on the people that don't need the spotlight anymore. And they ignored most of the young talent. And part of that is the Bischoff is friends with his employees. As a major rule for being an employer or any kind of work environment that you're the boss, you can't be friends with employees because eventually things turn into disaster. It might blow up in your face. That's why McMahon was never really friends with even with his top guys. I mean, he's a little bit friendly with them, but he's not close friends with them. Let's just put it that way. Close, but not so close. And that's what Bischoff's probably. He wants to be friends with with the police. He wants to hang out with such as Hogan, Hall, Nash, whatever. I mean, they're all cool guys, but you're the boss. You're not supposed to be close friends with people. So, and plus, he spends too much money on contracts that don't need to have a lot of contracts. So anyway, for Eric Bischoff, I say more positives than negatives. But if I have to say one negative about Bischoff is you spend way too much money on wrestlers that don't need that much money, and his angle, which is the best, one of the best pro wrestling angle storylines of all time, overstayed its welcome. So it's only two negatives I can come up with there, Bischoff. But hey, good luck on that podcast. I really enjoy the 83 Weeks podcast, and I'll see you next time. Late.